Hi, my name is Kevin Osei, and this is my final project for HAP752 at George Mason University. Mental health has quickly become a top concern within major health issues, especially during the pandemic. About 350 million people deal with depression annually, and suicide is the second leading cause of death for those aged 15 to 19. As someone who has mental health issues, I know seeking help can be tough, but it's an important step towards living a healthier life. When I finally started to seek help, I was told to fill out a pre-visit questionnaire. This was very helpful as it let me think about how I was feeling beforehand and made it easier to figure out what I wanted to say for my therapy session. So this is why I wanted to create my own little questionnaire. I used HTML to create an online questionnaire and linked it to a MySQL database. The patient will enter their first and last name into the appropriate area, then answer 5 questions about their mental health to the best of their ability. Once they have finished answering the questions, they hit submit and they are ready for their next therapy session. The information entered is sent to a MySQL database that will hold the answers of all the patients that the provider treats. The provider can now check the MySQL database to look over answers and use the information to develop key talking points. The database can also be used to find trends in a patient and figure out what could be done to improve the patient's mental health. This is the flowchart of the design. So the patient opens the form, inputs their name, and moves on to question 1. If they can answer it correctly, they move on to the next question. If they can't, they leave a blank and then move on. Once they finish the form and press submit, it should say that the answers have been successfully sent to the database. If it hasn't, they have to fix their errors and then resubmit. Otherwise, they're done. Here's the layout of the actual form. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Just fill out, first name, last name, and then answer these 5 questions about different aspects of one's mental health. And once you finish these, you can press submit. You can also leave them blank if you don't feel comfortable answering. But yes, this is the main layout. Here is some of the code I used to create this project. On the right is the HTML code used to create the questionnaire, and on the left is actually a PHP code used to link the MySQL database to the HTML form. This is the layout of the MySQL database. As you can see, it has first name, last name, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and question 5. So my first scenario is what the patient sees. The patient is sent the pre-visit mental health check form to fill out before the first therapy session. The patient enters their first and last name in their respective text boxes, then proceeds to enter the answer to the first question on whether they have been sad or anxious in the past 2 weeks, the answer with yes or no. Next, they answer the second question, how they would describe their sleeping habits in the past 2 weeks, and this is answered with either poor, satisfactory, or excellent. Third question is to be answered as how often the patient has felt hopeless when thinking about their future in the past month, and this is answered with either never, 1 to 2 times, 3 to 5 times, 5 to 10 times, and 10 or more times. The fourth question asks if the patient believes they have control over their lives and mood. This is a yes or no question. And then the final question asks if the patient finds it difficult to maintain meaningful relationships, and this is a yes or no question. Once the patient is comfortable with the answers they have provided, they press the submit button, and this will trigger the page to display the sentence, new record entered successfully. And with that, the patient is done and prepared for the first session. The second scenario is on the provider side. So the provider has been seeing multiple patients in the past month and has seen considerable improvement in the patient, Kevin. To further confirm Kevin's improvement, the provider wants to check his answers on the pre-visit forms. So the provider logs into the MySQL database and uses the code select star from pre-visit where fname equals Kevin. And with this code, the patient can see all the entries entered by Kevin, and they can see that there's a positive trend in Kevin's answers. In conclusion, mental health is a very serious issue that has finally received the attention it deserves. Getting a pre-visit form like the one I made got me in the right mindset before my first therapy session and made me reflect on how I've been feeling in the past few weeks. I believe these forms are extremely helpful and should be implemented in all areas of healthcare that they are applicable. I can see this being a more widely used tool as virtual visits have been on the rise. They help doctors get a good idea of what their patients are thinking and feeling beforehand so they can structure their session effectively. I truly hope others seek out help like I did and reap the benefits of these pre-visit surveys. Thank you.